Hi everyone and welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. And if you haven't been here before, please subscribe to be a part of the bilingual family. So in today's video, as you can see by the title, we're doing a foundation review. Today I wanted to test out one of the current most hyped foundations, if you will. Apart from the NARS light reflecting foundation, this foundation is one that is very hyped on TikTok and Instagram, and I picked it up after debating on picking it up for a while because I wasn't sure if I wanted to try this, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick it up and we'll see what happens. It's the Charlotte Tilbury's Beautiful Skin foundation, and I was really excited because it looked like a very skin tint kind of foundation without it being a skin tint. And even though I love skin tint, sometimes I want something that is a little bit more full coverage. I'm gonna go over the details, the formula, we're gonna do a little bit of a demo, and if I have time today, and if I'm doing anything remotely, you know, every day, like, because it's actually a Saturday when I'm filming this, we'll also do a wear test. I'm gonna give you my thoughts, I'm gonna swatch it, but first, the details. So the Charlotte Tilbury's foundation is available in 30 shades. I currently have the lightest shade, which is number one neutral. So it's a shade for people with the fairest skin tone with like neutral undertones. This is one of the things about makeup. I have absolutely no idea when it comes to like my face shape. Like, is it diamond? Is it round? Is it heart? I don't know. Is it square? Could be. And same thing kind of with my undertone. I'm still struggling trying to find my undertone, even though my face is pretty red because I have naturally I have a lot of redness. Like, I sometimes feel like in my hands I see more yellow and then I see pink. To be sure, most of the time I just go for one of the lightest neutral shades, and this one is a light and neutral. It's supposed to make the skin look more hydrated, plump, smooth and brighter. It's medium coverage with skincare ingredients to combine instant glow and buildable coverage with long-term skincare benefits. So the brightening actually comes from the rose complex, and the hydrating comes from the hyaluronic acid that is in this foundation. Now, I have to say that I am personally not a fan of hyaluronic acid. I think due to the climate of where I live, which is Belgium, but it's a pretty dry climate, and I feel like hyaluronic acid usually does the opposite of what it's supposed to do for me. And then it's smoothing, and this was something that was interesting to me. It's smoothing because it helps to decrease the appearance of oiliness and reduces the look of shine and pores. I have a dry skin type, so oiliness is not something that, you know, occurs pretty commonly. It's something that doesn't happen on my face. But I was interested because it claims to be smoothing in the sense that it will, you know, reduce that oil, but at the same time it will hydrate. So I thought that was a very interesting like combination. And also it's supposed to be long lasting with 16-hour wear. It's vegan, recyclable tube. So this one is recyclable. I don't know about the cap. This retails for 40 euros, which I presume is going to be like $38 and like 40 pounds probably, or 41 pounds. So now that we have all of that, we're going into the demo. So I have the shade 1 neutral, like I said before. I'm gonna quickly pump out one pump on the back of my hand, and this is the shade. I feel like it's neutral. I do want to say that I don't think this could be their like lightest color. I have a very fair skin, you could say. I have very light skin, but I still feel like this one is a little bit darker than my neck. Like it's just like a shade or one too dark for my neck. So I feel like there could be, you know, improvements when it comes to the shade range on the light spectrum. I obviously cannot speak for the darker spectrum of the shade range. Breathing. Sometimes breathing is very easy, but I tend to forget about it, you know? Okay, so I quickly prepped my skin with the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops, and also the Medic 8 C Tetra Lipid Vitamin C. That is what is on my face. My skin is very dry at the moment because we're at the end of winter. It has endured a lot, so it's dry, it's patchy, it's flaky, it's everything. No primer, because I don't like primer. But those, yes. Now I'm actually gonna start with my brush, and I did notice that at that time I did like it more with like a sponge, but some people say that they really like it with a brush. So as you can see, like, the color is a pretty good match, and it does cover up that redness that I was talking about. A little bit about the texture of the foundation, like it's a lot more, like it's thicker than a liquid foundation. So this one is, you know, it's not as liquidy, it's not as fluid, but I would say that even despite that being the fact, it still doesn't feel like very heavy or dense. You know, sometimes a foundation can be really thick to the point where it doesn't really seem to move, and there's not like a lot of like moisturizing elements to it, but this one really has like a glide to it, and it really blends out very easily on the skin. So yeah, this is a side-by-side comparison of my actual skin and then the skin with the foundation. So I would say for now, even though I'm gonna go over it with a sponge, I feel like it's definitely like beautiful skin. Get it? And then now on the other side, I'm gonna use my sponge. Foundations that are a little bit more on the thick side, I usually prefer a sponge. I don't know why, I just feel like a brush, it gets wet and then it's like very finicky to blend out, if that makes sense. So this is my skin with the Beautiful Skin foundation on top by Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, you can see my other t-shirt. We do this to stay warm. As you can see, the foundation evened out my skin tone really nicely. I feel like most of my redness is gone, if not all of it. It has covered up some of the elements that I find more problematic on my skin, like for example, certain acne scarring or anything like that. But you can still see my moles through this, which is something that I like. I don't like it when a foundation completely covers up my face. The way that it looks on the skin is very, very natural. It has a little bit of that glowiness that I like, but it isn't overly greasy. If that, you know, it's not a greasy kind of looking dewy foundation, so it looks hydrated. I do look moisturized. Now I do have to mention that despite the coverage being more on the medium to full coverage side, it doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all. It doesn't feel like it's suffocating my skin. So one of the most important things for me when it comes to foundations is the way it feels on the skin and the way that it sits on top of the skin. So basically the way it feels and the finish of it. So the way it feels is you can feel some tackiness, like when you apply a moisturizer you have that same type of tackiness, but it's not a tackiness that bothers me or is burdensome. For example, I don't mind that kind of tackiness. Now, one of the things that usually happens with foundations that are medium to full coverage in my case is the fact that they feel suffocating on my skin. They feel heavy, you can feel them sitting on your skin. And that is the second part, the way that it sits on the skin. And this one, despite it being tacky, it doesn't feel heavy. Like you can feel it sitting on your skin, but it's not anything that really bothers me. It's just like I said, I applied a moisturizer. That's kind of how it feels. And sometimes you have certain kind of foundations that just really feel heavy on the skin. It feels like it's dragging you down, and it feels like you're wearing 100 layers even though you're only wearing one layer. So it doesn't have that. I also think that it has that smoothing effect. I do feel like I can kind of see that in the sense that this area looks a little bit more blurred, I would say. So all in all, I really like the finish of this. It's very natural despite it having more coverage than a skin tint. If you like skin tints, if you like the look of skin tints on your skin, but you want something that has a little bit more coverage to it, because sometimes skin tints are more on the light coverage side, I think this one will be like one of your go-tos. Like I think it's gonna become one of mine. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna finish off the rest of my makeup and then I'll be right back. I'm actually gonna do an Oklahoma Play inspired Cassie look from Euphoria, so that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna see if I can do that. So I'm gonna quickly do the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back, and then we'll do the wear test. This is the look that I came up with. This is a Cassie Oklahoma Play Euphoria inspired makeup look that is coming on my channel very soon. But yeah, this is a foundation. It looks very natural right now. It does seem to have like dried down a little bit more and became a little bit less hydrated, but everything still looks so beautiful. Like everything looks very skin-like. I am actually not wearing powder, and I am not going to be wearing powder because that is something that I often do. Because I have dry skin, powder is just a no-no for me. I'm gonna do a wear test. It's currently 3 p.m. It's 3 p.m. right now, so I think I'm gonna do it until like 10 in the evening, so 10 p.m. It is very possible that I am going to wash off my eyes and try to keep the foundation intact as much as possible. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how it will wear, and that's what we're gonna find out. So see you in a couple of hours. Okay, so voiceover line here. So I took the foundation off around 11 p.m. after about 7 or 8 hours of wearing it, and everything pretty much looked fine. I obviously took off the eyeshadow, and I did reapply some concealer, but not too much. But everything looked nice, everything looked very natural, and I feel like I even looked a little bit glowier than I normally do at the end of the video. So yeah, the foundation held up really well, and I think in terms of long term you can see the clips wear yourself. So great success. Nice. Hey guys, so it's actually the very next day and I am here to do the outro of this video because I was so tired yesterday that I just took up, I took those clips and I took off my makeup and I went to bed. But quickly to sum up, like the wear test went really amazingly. Like the foundation didn't really get any drier, if that makes sense. Like it really only seemed to get more glow throughout the day. I have to admit that I didn't do anything particularly active or anything like that. I was editing Instagram reels, I was editing TikToks, I was editing this video. I did take off my makeup and then I really applied some concealer, but I made sure to keep it in the concealer area and to not put it on top of the foundation as to not get like a very disturbed view of how the foundation wore. It did fade around my chin area and also on my nose. So I am guessing that it's not completely transfer proof because I do touch my face, like my chin. I constantly do like this and I constantly do like that. So, and like I said, normally when you wear foundations for longer than 3 hours, basically they tend to get a little bit more crepey and cakey looking, like everything just looks kind of worn. All in all, I just quickly want to say that I think this has, like the foundation, the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin foundation, I think this has risen to my top 3 foundations very, very quickly. I think it's right there with my Nabla Skin Realist and also the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Skin Tint. So I think it's in the top 3, I'm not gonna lie. It was a very nice experience and I've been wearing it for 4 days straight now. And I think if you are looking for something that is like similar to a skin tint but with more coverage from a luxury or high-end brand that is vegan and cruelty free, then I definitely recommend picking it up because it's beautiful. Don't forget to use honey, I did that and I got a really nice code, like a discount. So yeah, I think that's about it for today's video. Like I said, top 3. If you want to pick it up, I'll leave a link in the description box down below. But thank you so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Oh.